Hey, welcome back, guys. So I'm sure a lot of you will will appreciate this, but you guys have been asking me for the longest time, when am I going to pick up a Taranis QX7 and give you guys some how-to videos? And I kept saying no, no, I'm not going to do that because uh, I already have the X9D, and the QX7 is almost just like it. And recently, I actually picked up the Turnkey Evolution, and I've fallen in love with this. I started using it back in November, December, and I mean, it's great. Now, I didn't pick up the QX7 because I found anything wrong with the Turnkey Evolution. I just figured I'm still using the X9D for my GPS builds, my airplanes, and a bunch of other stuff. So, I mean, this thing's less than $110. So I might as well, and that will get rid of this big bulky thing. Plus, you guys get some how-to videos out of this. So yeah, if you look in the description below, I guess this will be the first official video of the new playlist that I'm making just for this. So if you have any questions on anything about this, I'm going to be making every video you can imagine. So just check it out there. So let's put it on the bench and take a look at it. And by the way, I will be doing a comparison video between this, the X9D, and the Turnkey Evolution. In this video, I really just want to focus on the QX7. So look in the description below, and you'll find a link to my comparison video. So first, let's talk about price. I've been eyeballing this for quite some time, and the prices I've seen, I really couldn't justify getting this because it is so similar to the QX or the X9D. On Amazon, we're looking at one for about $186. On eBay, the cheapest I see is about $140, and on Banggood, they actually do have a pretty good price at $110. But I went to my go-to store, which is ReadyMadeRC.com, and they have it for $105. And then with shipping and everything out the door, I picked it up for $112 and had it in my hands in 3 days. Next, let's talk about how to power this, because the first thing that I noticed, and I did not know this until after I purchased this, was that unlike the X9D, it does not have a charge port on the side and come with a battery. So once you open this up, whenever you purchase it, it actually comes with this battery tray that holds 6 AA batteries. I don't know about you, but I really don't want to waste money by keep buying more and more AA batteries to power this thing. So if you can just take a pair of pliers, pull this thing right out, unclip it, and there you go. Now what I am using is the Strix 3200 mAh lithium ion battery. Some of you guys have seen my comparison video where I put this versus the Fat Shark battery to the test on the Fat Shark goggles with the TrueD V3 diversity receiver module. Just to see how long both batteries last, and this beat the Fat Shark battery by, what was it, 35 minutes, something like that, almost 3 hours total. You can also pick up this from Ready Made RC for $18, which is also cheaper than the Fat Shark battery. So I guess they made this to where I mean it works perfect for both Fat Shark goggles and this transmitter. You can use it for both. So you just take this, plug in the balance lead into this port on the bottom. You can tuck that away and put the cover back on. I can't tell you how long this battery will last. I can tell you for the Fat Shark goggles with the TrueD V3 diversity receiver module, which is known to be power hungry, it got almost 3 hours of continuous on time. So just take it for what it's worth. It could be a little less, could be a little bit more, couldn't tell you. And because this does not have a charge port on the side, this Strix battery, it's compatible with Fat Shark's battery charger, so I just use the same charger to charge this as well as my Fat Shark batteries for my goggles. The first difference that I noticed between this and the X9D, besides the whole battery and powering situation, was instead of getting the 6 buttons, we now get a scroll wheel with this nice page and exit button and the button in the middle. So that's pretty nice. I should back up. Quality. I've seen a lot of guys saying that the quality of this is much better than the X9D, but in my opinion, I think it's the same. I mean, I'm not saying the quality for the X9D is bad. meaning this is bad. I'm saying it. I thought the quality of the X9D was good, and this is just as good. So I guess take that for what it's worth. It's just as good, if not maybe even better. But I think they're both great. The X9D, it does come with a memory card or SD card, and this one does not. It does have the SD card slot down here, and I don't know what size it can take. I would imagine up to a 32 gigabyte maybe. I can't confirm it yet, but just know whenever you purchase this, not only do you want to purchase the Strix battery or some other compatible rechargeable battery, but also a SD card. It does have the mini USB port just like the X9D, except for being on the back side, it's under here. The quality of the switches are exactly the same, which once again I'm not complaining, they're good switches. For the gimbals, once again the gimbals feel exactly the same. One thing to note though is when I went into the settings, I noticed that this came in mode 2, but and that's just as far as your channels and auxiliaries, but as far as the gimbals itself, it seems like there isn't a mode 1 or mode 2. They have self-centering sticks on both sides, so you can easily take this apart. It's actually a lot easier than the X9D because there's only 4 bolts. There's 2 here and 2 underneath this cover. The back plate actually comes off much easier. You don't have a bunch of stuff stuck on the back plate that you have to disconnect, stuff like that, but just take that off and you can remove the spring to make this. I want to make a video on it, so don't worry about it. Just watch the playlist that I'm leaving for you guys. That's actually going to be one of the first things that I do. I also noticed that it has a headphone port up here, which the X9D did not have. So I would imagine a lot of guys would like this because hearing your warnings from your telemetry sensors would be a little bit easier to hear. Not saying that there wasn't ever a problem with the X9D, but what I'm curious about is, does this mean we can put music on the SD card and listen to the music through the headphones? So I'm going to look into this, and if it is something that we can do, I'll do a video on that as well. As far as weight, the X9D with battery and everything comes in at, we'll say, 840 grams. The QX7 with the Strix battery looks like 718 grams, so it's not that much lighter. Just to give you a size comparison, here is the X9D, here's the QX7. So the QX7 is wider. It might also be taller. No, they're about the same height. And it looks like it does have a few less switches. You don't get the little turny things on the sides, and you don't get 4 switches on top, you only get 2. But that's fine, because even on my large GPS builds, I didn't even use all the switches on the X9D, so this is still going to be perfect. As far as the menus, these are, so it's got OpenTX on it, which is great, and we can change and modify a lot of things, which you'll see in upcoming videos. But the menus themselves look exactly the same, like really not that much has changed. Let me zoom in for you guys. But this is assuming you are familiar with the X9D. If you are, then you'll notice that it's exactly the same. There are a few differences, but for the most part, it's 98% the same. But I do like this little scroll wheel. That is a nice little touch. The power on button does look a little bit cooler, but yeah, you do have to hold it down to turn it on and off. And I don't know. I'm not picky, but if I were a picky person, I'd rather just flip a switch, but it's whatever. That's pretty much it. Sorry for a lame review, but I mean, it's almost exactly like the X9D. But what's amazing is it's 1/2 of the price. In the past, guys would have to make the decision if they want to immediately go to the Taranis X9D, or if they're not sure if they like the hobby or not, they just want to get a cheap transmitter, then they could do that. But this solves both problems. You can get that cheap transmitter, but it's just as good as the X9D. So that's the way I see it. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Coming up next, like I said, I'll do the comparison video between the three. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.